every day for a month. Can you imagine? It's really wild. Like, you don't really get sick of other people's pieces on Sister Spit like you think maybe you would. You just kind of get high off of them in this really weird way. That was so great. The next person up here has, I think, gone on more Sister Spit tours than anyone. She was on the very first ever Sister Spit tour in 1997, and she's going to be coming on Sister Spit this coming April because her books are going to be coming out on Sister Spit Books, and we're going to put her amazing, it's Liebegott, you guys. We're putting her amazing books, Beautifully Worthless, back into print. And she has a fantastic new novel called Cha-Ching, which is excerpted in the anthology. So if you pick it up, you can get a sneak peek of what's coming this spring. Please welcome Liebegott.
Thanks, City Lights. I love this place. I can't believe that I get to have a book with City Lights. It's kind of doesn't get better than that for me. Anyone know the score? 7 what?
8-1.
8-1. What inning are we talking about?
7.
Because that's why we're here, really. Thanks, Michelle, for putting this out to, when you read the introduction, and it's just, those vans are real, you guys, for real. Like, people, like, breaking down, and then some dude stopping with, like, a pickup truck and 24 case of Busch beer in the back, and you just let those people fix the van, which means they take out a giant part and throw it into the weeds, and then you keep driving. So, it's funny how you frame it about the vans opposed to our shitty decision making. Right? Like, you kind of let all these people, you're like, yeah, I'll get back in that van. That doesn't have a part. Like, parts aren't really optional, are they, for cars? I don't know, not like in the engine area. So anywho, I'm just going to read a tiny excerpt from my forthcoming novel called Cha-Ching. And this is the very beginning. It was 1994, the year of bad, low blood sugar decisions. As soon as Theo was done watching her favorite episode of Top 25 Best 911 Emergencies, she planned to leave her empty San Francisco apartment and move to New York. She sat on the cold hardwood floor and absorbed the grave situation of a man who'd become trapped in the bottom of a garbage truck. A passerby had called 911 after hearing what sounded like human cries coming out of the truck. The police were instructed to pull over every garbage truck in a 3-mile radius of the man's phone until finally the right garbage truck was found. A policeman approached the back with his megaphone and said, "Are you in there? Do you need help?" While 2 sanitation workers in bright orange vests snickered in the background, smoking cigarettes. The second time the policeman called into the garbage truck, a tiny muffled voice said, "Yes, sir, I'm down here." The reason this was Theo's favorite episode was because the TV show never discussed how a person might find himself trapped in the bottom of a garbage truck. She knew there were only a few explanations: mental illness, drunkenness, homelessness, or a combination of the 3. But by not exploring any of the options, the TV show was saying, don't judge. We're all 5 decisions away from making a 911 call from the bottom of a garbage truck. And when the man was pulled gently by each of his arms from piles of oozing plastic bags, the TV show did him the additional honor of digitally blurring his face to protect his anonymity. She snapped off the small black and white television but remained seated in front of it until the last bit of light fizzled into the center of the screen like a dying star. Then she yanked the thick black cord from the wall. She wasn't moving this piece of shit all the way across country. It was warm in her arms when she picked it up to carry it to the community free box. Theo climbed the 2 flights of stairs and opened the door that led to the roof. The cold San Francisco wind hit her squarely in the face. When she was sure she could steal no more warmth from the TV, she set it down on the seat of a discarded gray office chair. There was almost never anything good in the free box, yet Theo looked at the pile daily when she passed it to smoke. With the exception of her TV, it held the same things as yesterday: the disgusting office chair, some glass picture frames, worn rock climbing shoes, and a broken beige carpeted cat tree. All of it was trash, really, but people often left trash in the free box when it wouldn't fit or they didn't want to walk the extra paces to the garbage chute. In New York, she would be a person that didn't drink or smoke or watch TV. She'd transform herself into a well-read adult, starting with the complete works of Fyodor Dostoevsky, then move her way through biographies of famous painters. She always wanted to take a painting class and find out if she was secretly brilliant. She'd become physically fit, get a gym membership, read Crime and Punishment on the stationary bicycle. Before she turned 30, she wanted to be able to go to a party and have a conversation that involved anything but details from Forensic Files episodes. Across the street from Theo's apartment building were some of the most dangerous housing projects in San Francisco. They had been built in the late 1960s and painted a terrible baby shit brown. With the exception of senior citizens, residents of the housing projects were not permitted to keep dogs. But this rule was not enforced. Tenants and passerby were regularly menaced by pit bulls. Theo had heard the quick growl and snap of a dog and then the cry of a child once. A few minutes later, an ambulance pulled up, and the boys that Theo hated, who stood on the corner all day, turned their heads toward the EMTs half-interestedly. When police finally cracked the pit bull ring, they took everything: the treadmills that the dogs were leashed to in order to train, the giant tires that hung from chains to make the dogs' jaws stronger, the beautiful, confused dogs that looked like baseball catchers with old-fashioned wire muzzles strapped over their big jaws were led out to the convoy of white animal care and control vans. Theo knew they would be euthanized as she watched them, one at a time, lunge at the dog catcher, even while muzzled. The dog catcher was a muscular, long-haired Latina butch named Denise, who Theo knew from the bars. Denise did an intricate dance, pushing a long pole with a wire loop at each dog. She was like a lifeguard at a city pool, inserting the pole into the water for the drowning swimmer to grab onto. But to be saved, the dogs needed to be calm and put their paws over the wire loop. And to be calm, they needed to have had entirely different paths up until this point in their life, needed to have grown up from puppyhood, not being stabbed in the ribs with screwdrivers for the sole purpose of making them mean. Thanks a lot.